nothing out of the ordinary ever happened. It was the summer of my sophomore year in high school when something truly terrifying happened, something that haunts me to this day. The house was an old farmhouse, creaky and full of character. My room was on the second floor, and it had a large window that overlooked the backyard. The backyard was expansive, stretching out to the edge of a dense forest. I stayed up late playing video games and chatting with friends online, using the light from my computer to illuminate my room. One night, I was zoned into a game when I heard a soft tapping sound coming from the window. At first I thought it was just a tree branch or maybe even the wind, but the tapping continued, growing more insistent. I paused my game and turned to face the window. My heart skipped a beat when I saw the silhouette of a man standing just outside, staring directly at me. This man, he was tall and gaunt, with unkempt hair and hollow eyes that seemed to pierce through the glass. I froze, my mind racing. How could someone be standing outside my second-story window? My heart pounded in my chest as I slowly backed away, not daring to take my eyes off the figure. I wanted to scream for my parents, but I just couldn't move. The man continued to tap on the window, a sinister smile spreading across his face. I finally mustered the courage to run out of my room and down the hall to my parents' bedroom. I pounded on their door, my voice trembling as I called out to them. My dad opened the door, groggy and confused. I quickly explained what I had seen, and he grabbed a flashlight and a baseball bat before heading downstairs. My mom stayed with me, trying to calm me down. We heard my dad open the back door and step outside. The minutes felt like hours as we waited for him to return. When he finally came back, he looked more perplexed than worried. He said there was no sign of anyone outside, no footprints, nothing. He assured me that it was probably just a figment of my imagination or a trick of the light. Reluctantly, I returned to my room, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. For the next few nights, I kept my curtains tightly shut and avoided looking out the window. I had almost convinced myself that it had all been a bad dream when it happened again. This time, it was around 3 a.m., and I was jolted awake by the sound of the tapping. My heart raced as I slowly turned to face the window. There he was again, the same man, the same chilling smile. But this time, he was closer, his face almost pressed against the glass. I could see the wild look in his eyes, and the tapping grew louder, more insistent. I scrambled out of bed and ran to my parents' room, tears streaming down my face. My dad repeated his routine of checking the backyard, but once again, he found nothing. This pattern continued for weeks, with the man appearing at my window sporadically. My parents began to think I was making it up, but I knew what I saw was real. One night, I decided to set up a camera to capture proof of the man. I positioned it to face the window and set it to record before going to bed. Sure enough, around 2:30 a.m., I heard the familiar tapping. I didn't dare look this time, but I knew the camera was capturing everything. The next morning, I eagerly checked the footage. My blood ran cold as I watched the video. There he was, the man, standing outside my window, tapping and smiling. But what terrified me the most was the way he moved. He seemed to glitch, his movements unnatural and jerky, like something out of a nightmare. I showed the footage to my parents, and they finally believed me. We called the police, but they couldn't find any evidence of the man's presence outside our house. They suggested it might be someone playing a cruel prank or, worse, someone with ill intentions. After that night, the man never appeared again. We eventually moved to a new house, and life returned to normal, but the memory of the man in the window still haunts me. To this day, I can't explain who he was or what he wanted, but I know one thing for sure: some things are better left unseen.